The arena went completely silent. Not the normal kind of silence you hear when fans are waiting for the next entrance. This was different. This was the kind of silence that happens when something so disrespectful, so shocking, and so personal just happened that nobody in the building knows how to react. And right in the middle of that silence stood Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, the head of the table, the man who for years demanded one thing from everyone around him: respect. But tonight on WWE RAW, something happened that pushed Roman further than anyone has seen before. And the craziest part? It forced Roman Reigns, and even the Usos, to do something nobody thought they would ever do. They begged. Yes. The same bloodline that ruled WWE with fear, power, and dominance actually begged CM Punk to come out. But before we get to that insane moment, you need to understand what led to it. Because this situation didn't just explode out of nowhere. It started with one of the most personal insults we've ever seen in WWE. And it involved Roman's own father. Now pause for a second. Let me ask you something. If someone publicly disrespected your father in front of millions of people, would you stay calm? Or would you lose control? Drop your answer in the comments right now. Because what happened next might shock you. Earlier in the night, Roman Reigns came out to the ring with that same confidence we've seen for years. The slow walk, the cold stare, the undeniable aura. Behind him were the Usos, Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso, standing loyal as always. The crowd reaction? Mixed. Some fans acknowledging their dominance. Others still furious about everything the Bloodline has done over the years. Roman grabbed the microphone and did what Roman always does. He demanded acknowledgement. But before he could finish his speech, the lights dimmed, the music hit, and the entire arena exploded. Because walking out onto the stage, with that signature smirk, was none other than CM Punk. Now, if you've followed wrestling for years, you know something very important. These two men, they don't just have history. They have unfinished business. And the moment Punk stepped onto that stage, the energy inside the building changed completely. Roman's face tightened. The Usos looked ready for a fight. But Punk, he didn't look angry. He looked amused. Almost like he had been waiting for this moment. Punk slowly walked down the ramp, soaking in the crowd reaction. Then he climbed into the ring, looked Roman Reigns directly in the eyes, and laughed. Not a small laugh. Not a nervous laugh. A full, mocking laugh. And that's when things started getting personal. Punk grabbed a microphone. The crowd began chanting his name. And instead of immediately insulting Roman, he started calmly. Too calmly. He talked about the Bloodline, their dominance, their titles, their legacy. For a moment, it almost sounded like he was praising them. But then his tone changed. Punk looked directly at Roman and said something that made the entire arena gasp. He said Roman wasn't the real tribal chief. He said Roman wasn't even the toughest man in his own family. But that wasn't the worst part. Not even close. Because Punk then mentioned Roman's father, Sikoa Inoue, one half of the legendary tag team the Wild Samoans. Punk told Roman that the real warriors in the Inoue family came before him, that they fought harder, that they earned respect. And then Punk said something that made even the Usos step forward in anger. He said Roman had ruined the family name. The crowd went wild. Some cheering, some booing. But everyone watching knew one thing. That line crossed a boundary. Roman slowly lowered the microphone. His eyes locked on Punk. And for a moment, it looked like he was going to explode. But instead of attacking, Roman did something strange. He smiled. And if you've watched Roman Reigns long enough, you know that smile usually means someone is about to get hurt. Before we continue, quick question for you. Who do you think would actually win in a real fight? Roman Reigns or CM Punk? Type Roman or Punk in the comments. I'm really curious to see which side wins. Now back to the chaos. Roman stepped closer to Punk. So close that their foreheads were almost touching. The tension in the ring was unreal. Roman told Punk that he should be very careful when talking about family. Because family is the only reason Punk was still standing. The Usos circled behind Punk. The crowd sensed what was about to happen. 3 against 1. Classic Bloodline style. But Punk didn't move. Not even an inch. Instead, he dared them to do it. He told Roman that deep down, Roman knew the truth. That everything Punk said was real. That Roman was only powerful because he always had backup. And that without the Usos, Roman would just be another guy trying to live up to his father's legacy. That sentence hit Roman like a punch. The Usos tried to calm him down, but it was too late. Roman finally snapped. He ordered the Usos to attack. The 3 of them rushed Punk, and the crowd erupted. But then something unexpected happened. Punk fought back. Hard. Punches. Kicks. Chaos. For a brief moment, it actually looked like Punk might hold his own. But numbers always win. Eventually, the Bloodline overwhelmed him. They threw him into the corner. And Roman prepared to deliver the final blow. But just before he could, Punk said something that stopped everything. One sentence. One brutal sentence. He told Roman that his father would be ashamed of what he had become. The arena gasped. Roman froze. You could literally see the anger building in his face. This wasn't just an insult anymore. This was personal. And what happened next changed the entire story. Instead of attacking Punk, Roman backed away. The Usos looked confused. The crowd looked confused. Roman grabbed a microphone again. And his voice was different now. Lower. Colder. Roman said Punk wanted to talk about family? Fine. Then let's talk about family. Roman admitted something nobody expected. He said everything he does, everything he fights for, everything he sacrifices, is to honor the legacy of his father and the Anoa'i dynasty. And then he did something unbelievable. He challenged Punk to prove his words. Not with insults. Not with cheap shots. But in the ring. Man to man. But Punk shook his head. He laughed again. And that's when he delivered the twist nobody saw coming. Punk said Roman didn't deserve that match. He said Roman needed to earn it. The crowd started buzzing. Roman looked furious. But Punk wasn't finished. He said if Roman truly respected his father, then Roman would do something he had never done before. Ask. Not demand. Ask for the fight. The tribal chief. Begging. The idea sounded impossible. The Usos started yelling at Punk. But Punk just stood there waiting. Watching. Smiling. And slowly, Roman Reigns turned toward the crowd. The entire arena held its breath. Because everyone was wondering the same thing. Would Roman Reigns actually do it? Would the most dominant champion in modern WWE history actually beg CM Punk for a match? And what happened next? Nobody in that arena will ever forget. Before we continue the story, answer this. Do you think CM Punk went too far by bringing up Roman's father? Comment yes or a no. Because what Roman and the Usos did next shocked the entire WWE universe. And it completely changed the balance of power on Raw. Roman Reigns stood in the center of the ring. The same man who had spent years forcing everyone else to acknowledge him was now standing face to face with CM Punk, being told to do something no one ever imagined. Ask. Not demand. Not threaten. Ask. The entire arena watching WWE RAW was on edge. The crowd was buzzing. Some fans were chanting Punk's name. Others were yelling for Roman to smash him. But nobody could believe the situation unfolding in front of them. Because Roman Reigns had built his entire empire on dominance. On power. On making others kneel. Yet now the man standing across from him had flipped the entire power dynamic in just a few minutes. And standing behind Roman were the Usos, watching carefully. Even they didn't know what their tribal chief was about to do. Roman slowly lifted the microphone again. His jaw clenched. You could see the anger running through him. But there was something else in his eyes too. Pride. The kind of pride that refuses to bend. And for a moment, it looked like Roman was about to reject Punk's demand completely. But then something unexpected happened. Roman looked out into the crowd. Tens of thousands of fans staring back at him. Millions watching around the world. And Punk just stood there waiting. Smiling. Almost daring Roman to prove him right. And that's when Roman did something that shocked everyone. He lowered his head. Just slightly. Not enough to look weak, but enough to show the weight of the moment. Then he spoke. Roman said if asking Punk for a fight was what it took to prove his loyalty to his family, then he would do it. The crowd gasped. The Usos exchanged stunned looks. Because nobody, not even Jey Uso or Jimmy Uso, expected those words. Roman slowly turned toward Punk. And with every camera in the arena focused on him, he said it. He asked. He told Punk that if Punk truly believed Roman wasn't worthy of the Anoa'i legacy, then he should step into the ring and prove it. The arena erupted. Fans screaming. Chants echoing everywhere. But Punk still didn't look impressed. He tilted his head, then shook it.
No.
The reaction from the crowd was immediate.
Boos.
Confusion.
Shock.
Roman's expression hardened instantly. But Punk wasn't done playing his game. He said Roman asking once wasn't enough. Because for years Roman had made the entire WWE locker room beg for opportunities. Beg for respect. Beg for mercy. Now it was Roman's turn. If Roman really wanted the match, he needed to prove it. And that's when things got even crazier. Because Punk pointed directly at the Usos. He said Roman shouldn't be the only one asking. If this match was about family honor, then the entire Bloodline should ask. The crowd went insane. Even the commentators sounded shocked. The idea that the Usos, two of the most dangerous tag team champions in WWE history, would actually beg someone for anything sounded ridiculous. Roman slowly turned around, looking at his cousins. The tension between them was thick. Because for the first time in a long time, the Bloodline looked uncertain. But then something surprising happened. Jey Uso stepped forward. He grabbed a microphone. And he looked directly at Punk. Jey reminded Punk of something important. That the Bloodline had dominated WWE for years. That they had crushed every challenger. That they had carried the entire company on their backs. But if Punk needed to hear the words, if Punk needed that satisfaction,
then fine.
Jey said it. He told Punk to stop hiding and accept Roman's challenge. Jimmy Uso followed right behind him. Now the entire Bloodline had asked. The arena was shaking from the crowd noise. And Punk, he finally looked impressed. But before he could respond, something completely unexpected happened. The lights went out. The arena dropped into darkness. For a split second, nobody could see anything. Fans started shouting. Phones lighting up everywhere. And when the lights came back on, CM Punk was gone. The ring was empty except for Roman and the Usos. The crowd immediately started buzzing again. What just happened? Where did Punk go? But the confusion didn't last long. Because suddenly, Punk's voice echoed through the arena speakers. He wasn't in the ring anymore. He was on the giant screen, standing somewhere backstage, smiling, watching. He told Roman something that instantly reignited the tension. Punk said he finally got what he wanted. For years, Roman had controlled everything. But tonight, for the first time, Roman played Punk's game. Roman didn't command. Roman didn't threaten. Roman asked. And Punk loved every second of it. The crowd reacted loudly again. Roman looked furious. But Punk wasn't finished. He said Roman wanted to fight.